Happy Tuesday and welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. It's Mailbag Tuesday. It's Leon Draisaitl contract day. It's Joe Brand Day in Pittsburgh.
Woo!
Thanks for being with us, everybody. We appreciate you. Do us a favor. Looks like a lot of you have done that already. Hit the like button for us on the YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed as well. And if you're listening on the good old-fashioned podcast, thank you. Like, subscribe, follow, review, all that good stuff. And leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast app, preferably Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Fellas, we got a lot to get to today. Let's start with the big NHL news of the day. Leon Draisaitl is re-signed by the Edmonton Oilers, 8 years, $14 million cap hit, and the old Stan Bowman stamp, full no movement clause, all the money, all the term. My first thought was the Oilers better win this year because guess who's due a new contract after 2025-26?
Connor McDavid?
That's correct.
Oh, yeah. Leon Draisaitl, at least for one season, highest paid player in the NHL. I really like Leon Draisaitl.
Mm-hmm.
He should not be the highest paid player on his team, let alone the NHL.
Well,
he won't be in 2 years.
Yeah, he won't be. Wherever McDavid signs his next contract, he will rightfully be the highest paid player in the league. It'll probably still be an underpayment for what he's worth to his teams, but you know the Draisaitl deal it makes sense because I mean he's a top 5 player in the league. He's the latest guy to hit the or would have hit the market, and he's in that echelon of McDavid and Matthews and McKinnon and all these guys that are in those top contracts. And with the salary cap going up percentage wise, I'm sure it lines up close to what they make as far as percentage of the cap. Draisaitl deserves that kind of contract. He's that kind of player. But yes, given the context of where the Oilers are and who else will need contracts, good for Draisaitl. If this McDavid and Draisaitl timeline in Edmonton does not produce at least one Stanley Cup, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, this is going to be Maple Leafs West here real soon, with so much money wrapped up into. Now, if Draisaitl's $14 million, I mean, that means McDavid's got to be anywhere between 16 and 18 per.
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a third of your cap space in 2 guys. Then you have that ridiculous Darnell Nurse contract, which Stan Bowman did not sign. We're not going to. I mean, it definitely is a contract.
He did. He gave it to Seth Jones, but
right.
$9.25 million until the end of 2029-30 for Darnell
and
Nurse.
that is going to be to Edmonton what some Blackhawk fans feel Seth Jones' contract will be to the Hawks. Mm-hmm. It already is to the Oilers. Right. Here's a scenario I totally see happening because of the money you're going to give Draisaitl and the money you have to already have aside for McDavid, I'm sure. Evan Bouchard gets offer sheeted.
Oh, yeah.
And they lose him.
Yeah. What are they going to do?
Because they're going to force their hand and say
him next year.
Yeah.
Next offseason. But I guess I should have looked this up. He is arbitration eligible. Can an offer sheet be put in before arbitration?
I don't know.
I'll look that up.
He's an RFA, so I mean, someone's going to try that. It's worth. He'd be worth it. A first and a second, maybe a third. You know, because you force their hand.
Oh yeah,
and my comparison of them being Maple Leafs West is not that they're like they're going to have all their cap space tied up in just a handful of guys, and it's not going to allow them to get a deep team that's good enough to win the Stanley Cup. They have a team this season deep enough to win the Stanley Cup.
They were one game away.
Yeah. And I think they got better this offseason. They got deeper. They added some more veterans. They're going to be right there this year. Beyond this year, when that kicks in, and then you got to the cap's going to go up, but
not that much.
Not that much. So this is their year.
Well, because
it's going to be a lot of, we're a great regular season team because we have such great skill player at the top of our lineup, but then the playoffs come where you need depth and you need role players and you need, a complete team. There's where they're going to come up short.
So if an RFA elects for arbitration, they are no longer able to sign with a new team, i.e. offer sheets.
Okay, so it'll be up to declared.
Yeah, it'll be up to Bouchard. If he gets a offer sheet presented to him, he probably signs it because it'll be a sweet deal.
It's going to be more
it'll
than
probably
he'll ever
be
get in
better than arbitration. Yeah, but if he wants to do Edmonton a solid, which maybe we can talk about later in today's show about players doing that, you might select arbitration and maybe they give him a little bit more than their original offer, but maybe that might have been less than the offer sheet.
Well, actually,
it's a huge hypothetical.
We could maybe get there now. We did have a mailbag question from the Twitters that did kind of echo that a little bit. So I know we usually start with the Discord, but just for the sake of our conversation, for Brandon here.
That's from Brandon. Does a player have any responsibility towards keeping or making their team competitive outside of their own performance? If so, how would you define that?
They don't.
You don't have
to. They can.
Yeah.
Well, this is, and people are asking me because I said, this is like classic Stan Bowman, give them everything and, not worry about the future in the future. And people said, well, what should they do instead? And I go, look, of course, Leon Draisaitl deserves this.
Yeah.
But if I'm a GM, I'm going to him and saying, I want you to just look at something here. Connor, Connor's up. It's going to be impossible for us to pay him less than you, obviously. Maybe you can get McDavid to agree to having an identical deal. If I was Connor McDavid, I would say, no, thank you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But maybe you could talk to both those guys and say, look, we need to keep this team competitive. And if instead of 14, Leon, we give you 12.5, and instead of 16, Connor, we give you 14.5. That allows us a little wiggle room and probably adds a quality player to the roster. When you look at the teams through the 2010s who stayed competitive, Pittsburgh, Boston, LA, all their star players took a little bit less to help the team out, to maintain competitiveness instead of taking every last penny, every last year, and the no movement clause. Of course, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Taves and Kane all deserve that. There's no doubt about it. But when you do that and you commit that much money to those kind of players, you are really hurting the depth of the team. And I was talking to somebody before the show today, would you rather have, we were talking about Mikko Rantanen, because now that seems to be the next move, right? Possibility for the Hawks. Would you rather have 3 Tavos, or would you rather have a Mikko Rantanen? Because the money's going to be about the same, right? But 14, 15 million for Mikko Rantanen.
Sure, yeah.
Would you rather have 3 high-quality top 6 forwards?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have that one guy? And when you look at the teams that win, it's not just star power, it's depth.
Well, here's how you here's how you can have your Mikko and still win, and here's how you can have your Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl win. And the Hawks are kind of starting, hopefully, lay that foundation down. You have a stacked system of prospects who are who you develop and you call up to play those role positions at $975,000 a season, as opposed to $3,000 or $4,000 on there. That's what Tampa did for all those years. They had young guys come up and play. Braden Point wasn't always a $7 million player. They had these guys. They'd come up. They go out and they get a Brandon Hagel and they pay him, responsibly. So
I think a lot of teams are getting ahead of it now, rather than waiting until now they're due a contract. Now we have to give them all this money. They try and get ahead of it by a year and say, we expect you to be this kind of player. It might be a little bit of an overpayment for 1 year, but it'll be maybe a better deal a couple of years down the road, a bargain down the road.
Yeah, so I mean, if your answer, the Tavo or the Mikko Rantanens, give me Mikko Rantanen, because I think in 2 or 3 years the Hawks will have some good depth.
Yeah,
homegrown depth.
The thing is, though, all those players won't be that cheap for that long.
No,
and it's hard to say. Well, you just keep recycling rookie contracts. Well,
and by the way,
I don't know if that's realistic.
But you have those guys for your cup window.
Sure. Yeah.
And not all those guys are going to be great. Not all those guys are going to warrant major second contracts.
Well, Bedard is, and he's going to be another 13, 14 million.
Well, unless you listen, Kyle Davidson is smart enough and creative enough. He's not just going to go to Connor Bedard and say, "Here's $16 million, no movement." He's not going to do that.
I wouldn't think so.
He's going to be like that scene in Seinfeld. I'll take it.
The Carolina Hurricanes just gave you a blueprint on how to another loop with this deferred contract for some of your younger guys. I'm not saying that's
interesting.
But it's definitely an option. There's a way to get around it. Worry about it later. We want to win within the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
If we get 2 cups in the next 5 years, who cares what our Stanley Cup looks or our salary cap looks like in 7 years? We've already been through that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what Vegas does.
Yeah.
Screw it. We'll worry about that when it comes.
I mean, that's what Bowman's
figure
doing.
it out.
That's what Bowman's doing.
Yeah,
but Bowman doesn't
he's counting on a cup over the next 2 years.
But Bowman doesn't have that record of being able to fix it on the fly. It's
No,
the time gets there and it all just goes to shit.
I mean, maybe the Oilers are fine with that.
If they win the cup this year, no one's going to care.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
No one's going to care in the immediate future.
Right.
When the team crumbles, like the Blackhawks
But
eventually did, then people will care.
It would be very Stan Bowman-esque to win the Stanley Cup this year when it's a roster full of guys he had nothing to do with.
Exactly. Yes, that would be the blueprint.
I mean, it is kind of coming together for him to do the same exact thing there that he did here. Inherit a team that's on the cusp of winning a championship, get your name on the Stanley Cup, and then just overpay for your star players and watch it crumble to the earth.
Well, I think one of the other interesting things that teams are doing now, whether it's publicly known or just kind of like an internal thing, I think a lot of teams might be starting to set up like an internal cap, like not necessarily saying like, okay, we're just going to go out there and throw money everywhere. They're going to, I know Carolina's a team that's done this. I think New Jersey is a team that's going this way as well, is they are paying their young cornerstone guy. And then unless you're better than that guy, you're not making more than that guy, no matter what the market may or may not dictate or what the salary cap may or may not dictate for the short term. Carolina signed Sebastian Aho to, $9 million plus. But no one since then is getting more than that because they see Aho as their benchmark. And in New Jersey, you're not making more than Jack Hughes as a new signee. I think Dougie Hamilton might make more, but he was a UFA before they, the story. So I wonder if Chicago does that with Bedard. It might be, here's Bedard's extension. Unless you are better and more important than Connor Bedard, no one's making more than Connor on this team. And I think that they might do that to like have like an internal understanding of like, we want to keep this group together because we believe that they're going to be competitive. And if you want to go out on the open market and get more money and leave what we're doing, that's an option. But just know, like, unless you are producing more and more important than Connor Bedard, let's say, if hypothetically, you're not going to get more than him.
It's interesting. I think it's a good way to do it. I think my only problem with that is it does kind of restrict you from going out and being competitive with free agents. If there's a massive free agent available,
sure,
they're not going to, Kyle Davidson can't pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Mikko, we love you, but you can't make as much as you can't make more than Connor." And he's going,
that's why you give Connor Bedard $15 million, and then those $15 million players per year usually don't hit free agency,
right?
Like Draisaitl would have,
probably
Rantanen
too. Yeah.
Won't,
Yeah, I would imagine not.
It'll be
Right,
interesting.
we got
that Bedard's next deal is going to be the first real fork in the road for long-term success or not for Kyle Davidson. How he navigates that and sets that foundation down it's going to be really important.
All right, your mailbag questions coming up next right here on CHGO Blackhawks.
And while the Oilers take a gamble on their contract future, if you want to take a gamble, why not do it with our friends at Circa Sportsbook? Whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is the Circa Sports Illinois app. Circa Sports, it is your sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service, the best in all of betting apps, as I have been told. And they don't limit players who win. So if you're betting on the White Sox to lose and you've been doing it for a lot this year, they're not going to limit you on that. You can keep doing that. You want to bet on the Bears to win?
On most betting sites.
Hey, I'm not the one in charge. You want to bet on the Bears to win this Sunday? You can do that on Circa. Bet all of your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You must be 21 or older. And if you do have a gambling problem or someone you know has one, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And you know that Coors Light is our go-to when we want to choose chill. It's also our go-to when we want to celebrate, and we have something to celebrate coming up next, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
But between all the stresses of everyday life, sometimes you just want to take the edge off, kick back, and just say, you know what? This is one of those nights where I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to throw some glizzies on the grill just chill. And when you do choose to chill, reach for a Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment. When those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as, not the Smokies, the Rockies.
Yes.
They're colder.
Much colder.
When Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged, you're getting a smoother finish. And when you embrace that chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And speaking of celebrating, before we get to the mailbag, we wanted to throw this guy on the show today, a frequent contributor, a friend of the show, a fill-in guest, all that good stuff. It's our buddy. It's our pal. It's Joe Brand, the new voice of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
On the radio.
On the radio.
Radio voice.
That's what matters. Radio's king, damn it.
There he is.
Oh, he's got the fresh hat, too.
yeah,
Look at that.
Wasted no time. Got that same day Amazon delivery and everything.
I'd like to formally choose the Pittsburgh Penguins as my new employer. No, fellas, thank you so much for having me on. It's surreal. It's bittersweet leaving Chicago and my home, but I'd only do it for an opportunity this huge and this just incredible. And the overwhelming support has been unbelievable. I can't believe how many kind people have reached out, your all selves included. And it's really cool. I can't wait to get started. I can't believe how excited I am for preseason hockey.
Yeah, dude, it's first of all, congrats. Another Oaklawn guy, making it big in hockey. Oaklawn, shout out. It's where I'm from. It's where I grew up.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
How did this come about? Is this have you been working on this for a long time, or did it kind of present itself out of nowhere? Take us behind the scenes. How did this come together?
Well, I mean, I think I've been very vocal that play-by-play is my main passion. I think I've said it on your own show multiple times, but it's always been the end goal for getting into this business. I just think nothing matches play-by-play. It's the closest you can be in the game without actually being in the game. And I'm incredibly grateful for all the opportunities I was able to acquire with WGN Radio and the Blackhawks. I mean, being able to call Hawks games for my hometown team was honestly a dream come true. But the goal was always to be in a booth full time. And anytime those jobs arise, you see them and, you go for it, but it's a tough business and you never know what's going to happen. But the moment the Penguins job opened, when the great Steve Mears was going to Columbus, I immediately thought of how wonderful a place that would be, how lucky I would be to land an opportunity like that. And you throw your hat in the ring and you see what happens. And a couple of conversations I thought went really well, and I guess they did too. And was lucky enough to just keep moving down the process and working with so many fantastic people. A lot of overlays with people who have worked with the Hawks and are with Pittsburgh or vice versa, and everyone just had phenomenal things to say about the Penguins and the city of Pittsburgh and the franchise just as a whole, the organization, and all the people that I'm going to be working with. And I felt that firsthand when talking with them, when dealing with them. And I mean, you go for these gigs, you hope to finally one day get the call saying that you've been chosen. And the fact that it's the Pittsburgh Penguins is just icing on the cake. I mean, this is a stoic franchise. This is 5 Stanley Cup champions. This is, some of the greatest hockey players ever, and Lemieux and Crosby, and I get to call Sidney Crosby's games. Like, what? This is real.
Awesome.
So yeah, I got a lot of things to do here. I feel like I'm putting my life in boxes right now, and it's crazy, and it's overwhelming, and it's bittersweet, but I'm with all those emotions that I have, I'm more excited and more thrilled for this next adventure. And I just couldn't be more grateful that it's in a place like Pittsburgh and with an organization like the Penguins.
Well, we know this has been your goal. And for those that don't know, not only have you been grinding away at WGN, you've been doing minor league baseball, you've been doing as much play-by-play as you possibly can to get yourself ready for this job. You are ready for this job. You know it. Everybody listening knows it. Everybody that's listening to you fill in for John Weideman knows it. We're just so happy for you, man. I know it's a crazy busy day. But we're just really happy for you. And I don't know if you could see the comments or not, but just people are so happy for you, so ecstatic. And I hope you're feeling that love today, because you deserve it. Everybody here loves you. We're all super happy for you, man. It's awesome.
No, all the love is being felt. And yeah, it's been a very emotional week for me. I honestly, I want to make sure everyone hears back from me. It's been a little tough though. I feel like my thumbs have never moved quicker on my phone and on the computer. I haven't even touched some social media yet. So if you reached out, believe me, the kind words are heard. I'm just trying to get to as many people as I possibly can. And yeah, just overwhelming support. And again, that's what makes it so bittersweet. It's tough to leave Chicago. It's tough to leave so many wonderful people. But again, I wouldn't do it if the opportunity wasn't worth it. And this is more than worth it. It's a trademark organization and a passionate fan base, and one that resembles Chicago fans, I believe. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it and thrilled to be invested in it. And I can't wait to embrace the Pittsburgh culture and just get involved with all of it.
Well, our buddy Charlie the Bacon Guy says, send Joe all the food recommendations in Pittsburgh. The place we went, Burgatory, right outside PNC Ballpark, was incredible. So
it was very good. Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. I'll take any and all recommendations, guidance whatsoever. I know I'm a newbie, but man, I'm ready to learn the city. I'm ready to learn and love it and just try everything. I love trying new things, and this is definitely one of them.
Well, all right, Joe, buddy. I think we're kind of beating around the bush here. The most important question: does this mean you are out of the lineup for WGN in the semifinal game on Monday?
I know, right? I feel like
it's only fair. Got to check the rules. He's technically not an employee anymore.
All right, is that the route we're going down, or are we checking everyone's?
we have nothing but our own employees on our roster.
100% employee back
or fourth cousins.
I'm gonna say I'm a game time decision, but likely doubtful. And
that's
believe me, that's tough too. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to show up to Pittsburgh with a torn ACL. Let's put it that way.
That's also true.
Yeah. You gotta show him the broken softball finger though. Bring 16 in softball to Pittsburgh with you.
Yeah, I think these two injuries were quite the motivating factor in the interview process. So we'll see. Jury's still out.
Kevin Wells getting the news you're doubtful on the air. He's not happy.
Kevin Wells, by the way, maybe the man in waiting, huh?
Maybe.
We've tried him at shortstop before, but we feel his best attributes are in the outfield. Actually.
I'm talking about your radio job, you jerk, not the softball. All right, dude. I know it's been a crazy day for you. Thanks for taking 5 minutes for us. We just wanted to say congrats and let you hear from our fans who love you and are happy for you. And anytime the Hawks and Pens are meeting up, we better see you on the screen.
No, for sure, guys. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you having me and just being such cool guys to deal with all the time and letting me hop on. That was a thrill. And think the world of your guys' work. Keep it up. Keep kicking ass. Have a great season. And I'll see you guys in April.
All right, man. Thank you.
Good, buddy. Best of luck,
bud.
That is the voice of your Pittsburgh Penguins.
It's very
Joe
easy
Brand.
to be happy when good things happen to good people.
He's a great guy.
And
Yeah.
that's
100%.
saw that news today and couldn't have been happier to see someone I consider a friend, know is a great person, achieving his dream.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier for somebody like that.
That's awesome.
Yes. He's a good man and thorough. And now Jaromir Jagr moves to second all-time for best hair in Penguins history.
Yeah. I'll stand behind that as well.
It is what it is. Sorry, Jaromir. Be better.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one mailbag question in before the break, shall we?
Sure. Let's go into the mailbag, into the diehard section of our mailbags.
Yes,
and this
diehard
one's
Discord.
I
Any
just-
videos?
No videos.
No videos.
Not that I saw.
Ooh.
Darn.
This
Too many
one's-
parole officers watching the show, I guess.
I don't know about this one, but here we go. From Darth Kane. Who do you think and why has a better chance in a long, productive NHL career? Reichel or Soderblom?
Jeez.
Reichel.
Boy. I'm going to say Reichel.
Rather get
I mean,
punched in the
Reichel's-
nuts or kicked in the nuts.
I mean, I don't know if either of them are going to have long, productive NHL careers, but if I had to bet, my money would go on Reichel just because he's a overall more talented player and plays at a position that, has more of a greater chance to succeed somewhere. Maybe not here, but somewhere. Everybody's looking for offensive forwards.
Yeah.
Where Soderblom, he's got. I'll just put it this way: it's going to be a lot easier for Reichel to get himself out of the hole he dug himself into than Soderblom digging himself out of the hole he put himself into.
Mhm.
He also feels like a guy where, like, if it doesn't work out in Chicago, other teams will think they can make him a reclamation project.
He's gonna
and
get
give him an opportunity.
Opportunities.
He's going to have a long time to fail in this league.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of leash for former first-round picks around the NHL. So if it's not in Chicago, there's a chance it'll be elsewhere. With Soderblom, there's 64 NHL jobs. Is he one of the 64 best goalies on the planet? I don't think so.
No, I would say not.
He's got a while to get there too.
So I think it'll be. I would say the higher percentage chances on Reichel for sure.
All right,
All right, let's do one more
Yeah.
because I should have done this first. Rev is mad at me in the chat, and I understand why, because this would have been the perfect segue.
Come on, Law.
I'm a
Jeez.
dumbass.
I blame the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea where I am. Region Rev says, I love my announcers. When listening to a game on radio or stream, who are your favorite broadcasters?
Joe Brand, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, that's right.
Penguins.
Penguins,
Yeah.
yeah.
He could do Pirate game too.
He could if he wanted.
I feel like play-by-play's gotten a little cookie cutter. Like there's not so many like Pat Foley's anymore. There's not so many legends anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to cop out and say John Weideman. I think John Weideman's great. My favorite all-time radio sports broadcaster is John Miller of the San Francisco Giants. I think his voice just sounds like baseball. He used to do Sunday Night Baseball with Joe Morgan, and that was like ASMR for me. I love listening to him. He is my favorite. I know he doesn't do it as much. He may have actually retired. I haven't kept up very much, but a lot of nights when I can't sleep, I'll go turn on a Giants game on the radio and listen to that because John Miller on the call was just wonderful. He's always been my favorite.
Yeah. Outside of the easy answer of John Weideman, and I feel like I don't really listen to radio play-by-play all that much of anything besides the Blackhawks. But I will say that when I've heard games done by like Ian Eagle and Kevin Harlan,
Harlan's
they are
great.
fantastic.
Harlan's funny too.
Yeah,
He's sneaky funny.
Those guys are very good. So I would say outside of guys that are like they're broadcasters that are like strictly TV, those two are on the national scale too that I like enjoy listening to.
Hockey wise, Bob Wischusen I think does a great job.
Yeah.
I really wish ESPN puts him on more hockey games. And as far as like team broadcasts, I've always been a big fan. I like the Dallas Stars broadcast team. Josh Beauregard and Daryl Ray is one of my favorite color analysts, has been for a long time. So, and I do watch a lot of Stars games during the season because chances are they're playing somebody in the Central, and you always kind of want to keep an eye on teams that you're likely playing within the next couple of weeks. So I watch a lot of Stars games on off nights. It helps that they're a good team. So I enjoy their broadcast a lot.
Godfather reminding us that he's old, says Lloyd Pettit. Great answer.
My grandpa loved him too.
Steven says Adam Amin, who I guess lives here now.
Like in our building.
In our building.
In our office.
Yeah.
My favorite, though, when you mentioned Kevin Harlan, is a guy with that high of a profile willing to do play-by-play of a streaker on the field. Like, that's a guy who knows he's set, who knows that he's made and doesn't have to worry about offending anyone or anything. He's just so good at what he does.
Well, yeah, it's just you have fun with some of the stupid stuff.
Yeah. And locally, Len Casper has always been one of my favorite voices.
Love Len.
Yeah. Too bad I don't listen to him much these days.
Oh. Huge hockey fan. Big Red Wings guy, but we won't hold it against him.
Despite, being a White Sox announcer and a Red Wings fan, I still like him. He's got good taste in
he
music.
doesn't have the Red Wings, he doesn't have a choice. He was from there, so you got to do it.
You have a choice.
Detroit sucks! Detroit sucks!
Don't forget it, Len.
That's as good a time as any to hit the break zone here on CHGO Blackhawks. And today's one of those days to celebrate. It's the sleep with the windows open kind of a day. Just a perfect night to sleep. Unlike last week, that was a freaking inferno. Why not spark up before bed with help from our friends at Sunnyside? What is Sunnyside? Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Whether you're brand new at the cannabis game or you've been doing it for a long time, they will help you get set. I talk all the time about two of my favorite brands, the Good News and the Mindy's. How about Cresco? They deliver consistent quality, experience, and availability of flower, vapes, concentrates, and pre-rolls. In a world where you can't find the same thing twice, Cresco offers reliability with their excellent cannabis. It's so great. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders.
And for those of you who would rather relieve some stress and catch your buzz in the liquid form, we recommend you check out our pals at Rugged Road. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. Their products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions, whether you're on land or water. Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure, and one of the most unique features of a Rugged Road cooler is their ability to always float upright. You'll never lose whatever beverage you are containing in your cooler. Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road coolers are incredibly light, making them easy to transport on any trip without compromising on performance. Crafted to handle the toughest environments, their coolers are built to last, ensuring they can keep up with any adventure. The coolers are guaranteed to keep their contents cool for up to 7 days. Days, not hours, but oftentimes much longer than even that. Perfect for a variety of outdoor activities, from fishing and tubing to camping and tailgating. These coolers are designed to meet the needs of every outdoor and sports enthusiast. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used. Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com. Use the promo code CHGO, and they're going to give you 10% off your purchase.
Nice.
That's a good deal.
It's a great deal.
All right, on to the mailbag.
Okay, back to our mailbag. Let's go with, Brandon Sikora's throwing a super chat. Let's do that first. Is PHNX show going to cover the Utah Hockey club or a new crew?
No idea.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, no, they're going to be
I
doing.
believe,
I think they're going to do some coverage.
I believe they are doing some
It
Utah
won't be.
hockey
It
coverage.
won't
not
be
gonna
like
be-
post-game shows.
No, it's not going to
but
be
they will
daily.
cover.
It's not going to be pre and post game shows like before. I believe Craig Morgan is going to be doing like a once a
little bit of
week
that.
article on them, but he's also
Mhm.
covering the Arizona Cardinals
PD and,
beat
and
reporter. So
Leah are going to be part of it as
yeah,
well.
they're still going to be doing a hockey show. I just don't know how often during the season,
Yeah.
but they're not going away, which is great news.
They have the Arizona Hockey Podcast, which covers ASU hockey in the NCAA. I know they do a lot of local stuff too. I know PD is big into that as well. I mean, yeah, they're going to be talking about Utah. They still have a investment in that club, as awkward and as difficult as it is to see the Arizona Coyotes leave Arizona as a Coyotes fan and then have it become Utah's thing. As difficult as that is, that's still all the guys, all the players that you invested in. It's I know it's a divisive thing. I saw PD announced it on social media that they were going to be doing some Utah coverage, and some people were upset that they were doing that.
Sorry that PD wants to keep earning a paycheck. The
Right?
nerve of
Yeah,
him.
it's a professional thing, but yeah, I mean it's I think there's still a market of Coyotes fans that want to see Utah succeed because they invested in those players. Beyond this season, I think if I was a Coyotes fan, I'd give it 1 year to be like, all right, what's Utah going to do? And then let it become Utah's thing. And I don't know, hold out hope that hockey gets back to Arizona with a leadership group that knows how to run a hockey team.
Yep, and that's kind of the Coyotes moving to Utah really hurt ALLCITY because the access that those guys had. I mean, they were essentially the only media network out there giving that kind of coverage.
Yeah, the most dedicated.
I mean, the general manager of the team had them over
For
a
Christmas
fireplace chat on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Coyotes appreciated what they were doing, and that's kind of why they're gonna. From what I understand, Craig was personally asked by Utah to, hey, can you please give us some of that coverage again this year?
He's
So,
about as respected as it gets in hockey media.
and he should be, because he's one of the best in the business.
Speaking of the ALLCITY
Great guy,
Network,
too.
we've got some breaking news, which is always brought to you by Indeed. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. That's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Nope. Need to hire. You need Indeed. The DNVR Avalanche show has hired their new beat reporter, replacing Megan Angley.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Gismondi. Remember him from the old Hawks broadcast?
Nick Gismondi?
Gismondi?
Oh, my God.
They call him Gizmo? Is that what Eddie O called him?
Yeah. Okay.
He is
That's
he's part of DNVR Avalanche
All right.
now.
Welcome to the team, Gizmo.
There you
Isn't
go.
that what
Gizmo, yeah. Eddie O called him.
what people call him.
All right. I do remember. Yeah, all right. Well, that's good.
He's part of the team.
Welcome to the team.
So there you go.
Nice.
You've got some big shoes to fill. Megan
Got some
was
high heels to fill.
Megan was Megan was awesome. We wish her the best of luck.
She remains awesome,
Yes.
for the record.
She's still alive.
Yes.
Still awesome.
She's just
still doing.
being awesome for somebody else. So,
Yeah. Yep.
okay, you do you. But we are going to miss her at ALLCITY. She brought amazing analysis to that coverage, and hopefully Nick can keep the bar where it's at.
Yes.
And maybe raise it.
There we go.
Who knows?
It's
All right.
allowed.
All right. To the Discord questions of our mailbag. This comes from Lexi. How would you feel right now if the Hawks pulled off the trade for Demidov? Yes. You'd have Demidov, but you wouldn't have the Hawks first or second in 2025, and probably Vanacker.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Darn.
Would I do that trade today? Vanacker, a second in 2025 and first next year for Demidov? Yes.
Yeah. But Montreal won't.
Right.
So, I would have. I don't remember the exact details off the top of my head, but what I would have given up, what it reportedly would have been had the Ducks not gone off the board and taken
It
Beckett
was this
Senecki.
year's first, next year's. It was this year that Islander pick 20.
The Boisvert pick.
Right. Next year's first, their own first, not the Toronto pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't.
Was it like a second next year?
I believe so.
Like that?
Maybe a second this year.
I would have done it.
Listen,
I would have done it if it would have been available. I would have done it.
I'm
'Cause
ecstatic
then
we
you
have a GM that actually
Levshunov
wants to
and
do that.
Demidov.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
be
I'm
aggressive.
ecstatic that we have a general manager that
aggressive.
threw that out there and said, you know what? Our fans can't decide, so I want to give them both.
Well, but
That's not why he was going to make
yeah,
that trade,
it's a really
but
good
it sounds
point.
good.
And I've been like, I think most people have been watching Hard Knocks, and I get a lot of the same vibes from Kyle Davidson and Ryan Poles, like where he was going to trade for Judon, and he's like, I want to, but I have a limit of what I'm willing to do to get this player.
Right.
I'm not going to just do it because I want to get it done. I'm going to do it because it makes sense for our team. And I think there's a lot of that with Kyle Davidson where you can be both aggressive and conservative at the same time. And I think both those guys kind of check that box. But yeah, like if something like that presents itself, I'm pretty sure that Kyle Davidson has sniffed around it.
Right.
Right. And maybe if
Because
even if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he even was as close to getting that done.
Close.
That's something that we didn't even, in all of our conversations about Demidov and Levshunov, who's it going to be for months and months and months, and going back and forth, we never thought of the possibility of how about both?
Right. Yeah.
We joked.
We might have said it in jest. Yeah.
We joked the year before about, well, wouldn't it be great if Mitchkov keeps falling and the Hawks trade up and get him and you get Bedard and Mitchkov in the same draft?
Right. Yeah.
We never even thought that could be a scenario. And if it wasn't for Pat Verbeek being weird
And a penis.
we would have pulled that off. Or
That's crazy.
Kyle Davidson would have pulled that off.
I don't know if he's a penis or not.
I watched him play hockey. He definitely has.
Well, yeah,
yes.
see,
He didn't get
on ice.
he didn't get
which
the
is always
nickname "Little
smaller.
Ball of Hate" for sending guys Christmas cards. You know,
That's true.
Right. All right, sorry.
I'm with
So
Holly.
Pat Verbeek catching strays over here.
I'm with Holly, who says I mostly sad we didn't get to see your guys' live reaction to that trade.
Oh my
happening.
god!
I
would've
don't even
jumped
know
out the
how-
window into the pool. It's
I don't even know how I would have reacted to that.
been
Like,
stunned.
like imagine we're
I would've gotten an email.
I would have been going up
Probably would have
to
mispronounced his name too.
I would have been
Boysport.
walking up to the Levshunov media availability and would have heard the goal horn go off in the arena. I would have heard it in real time, and it would have just that would have blown the roof off of the Sphere.
Oh my god!
It would have been crazy. Can you imagine?
Is there a roof on a Sphere?
Technically, yeah. There's a top. I guess there's a top and a bottom. You know, but I mean, it was heavy boos for the Blackhawks getting up to the podium and everything. Then imagine it says that they have traded for the 4th pick and took Demidov. Oh,
Yeah,
Kyle
it would've been-
Davidson
it
would
would've
have
been a
owned
zoo.
Vegas,
It would have been a zoo.
and they would be the ultimate villains of that draft, and it would have been awesome. But
Next time.
say
Oh,
la
wow.
vie.
Just the fact that he's thinking that way
Been
should
sweet.
give you a ton of confidence. And
Yeah.
I've heard people be like, "Well, he's getting a lot of praise for something he couldn't get done." He's at least being aggressive.
Couldn't get done because the Blue Jackets were in love with Caden Lindstrom, and if Lindstrom was gone, they would have done it.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
they had their hopes. They had their stock on him, and unfortunately, that stock, the pressure on him now to be something has gone up.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on his
but-
back.
So,
Ouch.
yeah, that would have been amazing. But again, I'm just happy that the Blackhawks are in the hands of a guy that sees a lot of the same things we all see and has shown the willingness to be aggressive to get things done. That's all you can ask for.
That's it.
Is be aggressive, have a plan, and be aggressive in trying to make that plan come to fruition.
100%.
All right, how about a like spike, everyone?
Yeah, let's do a like
How
spike.
about a like?
Yes.
spike?
If you're happy for Joe Brand, hit the like button.
If you're happy Joe Brand is now not on the Hawks broadcast anymore, hit the like button.
Oh wait, give me a second. No, yeah, do that for Joe. Let's get to 100 likes today, please.
Yes,
That would be
please.
great.
All right, and now we go back into the mailbag. This comes from Michael Evans. How many captains have been goalies, and why does it seem that goalies are rarely captains?
Well, I have the list if you guys are ready.
That's
I know
perfect.
the most recent.
The only one in the last 80 years is Roberto Luongo.
Yep.
2008, 09, 29 or 2009, 10, 2 seasons. Here's the biggest reason you don't do it, because
They're bad leaders.
Goalies are weird.
well, that and they're not really paying much attention to everything else going on the ice. They're kind of like, hey, where's the puck?
Yeah.
And they don't.
Kind of busy out there.
And then your captain in this day and age doesn't play in 25 to 30 games. That's weird. That your captain isn't technically even
Unless
playing.
you're the Flyers.
He's there,
Right.
right. But Luongo is the 7th goalie of all time to be team captain. And he was the first since 1947-48 when
Back when
Bill
goalies
Durham.
basically played every game.
They did play every
Yeah.
game, yeah. So the first goalie to ever be a captain was John Ross Roach of the Toronto St. Patrick's.
I remember that.
Sure.
Who became the Maple Leafs for 1924-25. The 32-33 season was a big year for goalie captains. It was like the trend that never took over. George Hainsworth, Montreal Canadiens, Roy Waters of the New York Americans, and Alex Connell of the original Ottawa Senators were all goalies and all their team captains. Then in 1933-34, Charlie Gardner of the Blackhawks, the only goalie captain to win the Stanley Cup in the history of the NHL.
It's a great trivia question. You should do trivia.
Yeah.
You ever considered
I've
that?
thought
Is
about
that,
it.
is
Yeah,
that
you
like your
should.
thing?
It's a lot of work, though. I hear it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. You've been doing it for years. I just rehash everything.
Shh. Don't give away my secrets.
We got a super chat here from N,
And
who says, any update on CHSN? I
Yes.
don't want to miss anything.
Joe Brand will not be a part of
It's
it.
not-
it won't be Joe Brand. Yeah.
That's it. We're, you know what?
That's
We're
our
not the only
update.
ones waiting. I promise you that.
They're not hiring any of us, at least that I know of. So we'll get the information when you get the information.
Not a lot going on there from what we can. I mean, there's a ton going on behind the scenes, but in terms of news, in terms of personalities, we don't know.
Yeah. Still
We're
waiting.
not the only ones who don't know.
Probably when we hear it, you'll all hear it as well.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Same time. Because we don't get those emails.
All right, back into the mailbag again. This comes from our Discord, from our diehards. This comes from Rooney.
Rooney.
First, go Irish.
Oh,
Thank
this
you.
is Jay's
Say it
Burners.
louder, please.
No. Second,
Wow.
Please, Rooney took the time to become a diehard and write it. You could at least enunciate his email.
I'll let you say it on camera. Just
Cole Komet said it to me today. Go Irish.
Here, say it now.
Number 5 in the nation, baby.
Congrats. Okay, so
Those first week of September polls mean so
yes,
much.
they mean a ton. Oops, now I've got the wrong one on screen because of all this.
Oh, gosh.
See what
Great.
happens when we
Back to
start talking
Rooney.
Notre Dame.
First, go Irish. Second, with Levshunov, how do recalls work between Chicago and Rockford? Is there a limit to the amount of times he can be called up, sent down?
Ask Jack Skilly.
No, he is waiver exempt, so he can come up as often and go down as often as need be. I don't think that's going to be an issue this year.
Yeah, and the only thing that would limit call-ups and reassignments is post-trade deadline.
Right,
you
you're
get
only allowed
6 of them.
6, and then like
One like emergency
there's
recall or
emergency,
something.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. But again, I don't think Levshunov is a guy that's going to be bouncing up and back and
Hope
forth.
not.
You know, guys like Wyatt Kaiser, Isaac Phillips, maybe Del Mastro. Those are guys that may be making multiple trips down I-90. But Levshunov is going to go to Rockford, and he's going to play the season there. Maybe like a Del Mastro last season. Maybe you throw him a bone in April and call him up for like the last home game of the season. Let him make his NHL debut. Tell his family and friends, everybody get there. Have reward him for hopefully what's going to be a very good first professional season. But as long as you're waiver exempt, which everybody on your rookie contracts are, there's really no limits until you get past the post deadline, like Mario, the trade deadline, like Mario said. But that's not on a specific player. That's just overall the team could only make so many moves.
I want to address Holly's question real quick. Are the Hawks Prospect Showcase being broadcast anywhere? My understanding is that it will be available to watch either on the Hawks website, their YouTube page, somewhere. You'll be able to see it. So that's my understanding as of a conversation I had last week.
Pretty sure that's what happened last year and
Right.
I think the year before too. Is it was
definitely
available.
that first game
somewhere.
on last year because Bedard.
But yeah, Bedard was playing.
But yeah, it will be out there. They usually, even when it was at Fifth Third and it was just the Wild, they were broadcasting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, once we get those details, we'll let you know. We should. I'm assuming we'll get those soon.
That's coming
'cause
up quick. Yeah.
next week. They'll start, practicing for that.
Yeah. Next week they'll have some sort of rookie practice, and then they'll have the games in St. Louis, and then that'll
Let's
go
go.
right into
That's-
training camp.
Best part about it's the calendar flipping into September is we will no longer. This is the NHL will be playing hockey this month. We are done with
Yeah.
no
Thank
NHL
God.
hockey for till next
A while.
July.
Let's go. All right.
That's pretty wild. All right. Here's the question you may have seen a little bit on the screen a bit ago
B.
from Bob B. Part question, part suggestion. Any plans to do an IceHogs takeover at some point this season? Happy to carpool.
That's the plan. We're working on it.
There's
There-
details to be ironed out,
Yeah.
but
If everything goes right, based on discussions I've had and we've had, that there will be hopefully some sort of CHGO event in Rockford this season. But they've got a lot of things on their plate, so I'm sure that's lower on the list. But we'll rekindle those conversations here as the season gets closer. So
yeah, and we're gonna continue to have as much, if not maybe a little bit more, IceHogs coverage as we've brought to you fine folks in the last 2 seasons. And Greg and I are gonna continue the rebuild report once the season kicks up, and there will be some tweaks to that and how we do that this year coming up. But yeah, tons of IceHogs coverage from us as much as possible. We're going to be, again, a young and fun team to watch and keep track of this year.
All right, gentlemen, we have one more from the Discord. This comes from BJD, who's also in our chat. Since this is a Blackhawks / WWE podcast,
Sure.
what's your favorite storyline from the Attitude Era? Be it big or small or whatever. Personally, the Steph turn with Triple H takes it for me.
It's pretty good.
I mean, there you have your huge storylines. Stone Cold versus Vince was huge.
To me, that is like
The
the
Rock and
signature.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My favorite storyline until the ending was the Ministry of Darkness with the Undertaker, with the higher power, and they
Yeah.
kidnapped Stephanie, and they
Yeah.
were like hanging people with nooses, and like putting them on cross-like symbols and raising them to the roof. It was so like, holy crap! And then they ruined it by, the higher power being revealed as Vince McMahon. It was me all along.
Yeah.
I was like,
Spoiler.
well,
Come on,
all right.
Greg.
Well, sorry, it was only 30 years ago.
Damn it.
Yeah, that was was my favorite storyline with the biggest
Yeah.
junk, and anything involving Mick Foley was my favorite too.
Yeah.
That was
Giggity's has mine. The whole Undertaker's long lost brother.
Yeah.
It's Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
And just the way that Kane was introduced was like, and the Undertaker was so
really well.
good at, and he talks about this in retirement, like he would never break character in public
Yeah.
ever, because once he breaks character once, it's over, right? The whole persona is over.
Yeah.
But he really illustrated in that moment when Kane was real, like shock and fear. It was like the one time you saw him show emotion. It was the right time for him to do it.
Mhm.
It was. I love that storyline, and just the way Kane came out was like, that is scary. That was scary as an adult.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how kids felt. I remember I went to a WWE show, and Kane did his with the Flames, and I had to be like 200 level 10th row, and you could feel the heat from that.
That's
It's crazy. But I think that Kane kind of had his ups and downs, and the problem with a character like that is once he loses, it loses a lot of steam.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Kane started off as this like monster, and then kind of tailed off.
Yeah.
And then they brought him kind of back as a but the Attitude Era had so many the Giggies, yes.
I just
Yes,
laughed. Oh, Val Venus.
Choppy Pee sketch.
I mean, so for me, I'm surprised no one mentioned it. Maybe it's because I was there, but the Y2J countdown.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was amazing.
I watched that 4 or 5 times a year.
Mhm.
I just go find Chris Jericho debut.
Yeah.
It was just electric, and The Rock just like letting him have his moment and then taking it back. Yeah, that was really good.
I was in the building. That was cool.
I was always a big fan of the Hardy Boys growing up, so I loved the Edge and Christian, Hardys and Dudleys rivalries.
Yeah.
The TLC matches that they have are some of my favorites of that era, and just the absolute carnage that they went through. It was awesome. I love that stuff.
We, my buddy and I, there right on cue, Young Dale, God, which Kane are we talking about here? The one we're re-signing next summer.
Thank you for the $1.
Thank you.
But Mike gets through.
I remember being at, it was I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown, but Brock Lesnar was in a dark match. So this is before he like debuted. So he was on a match before TV. And like he walked out and like everybody in the arena was like, whoa, who is that? And then he just destroyed whatever poor
Was it like
schmuck.
Barry Horowitz or somebody like that?
It might have been like
tomato cans.
it might have been spiked up. Like it was somebody like ridiculous that he should not be
Doink
in the
Clown.
room. It was just it was bad.
Yeah. Giggities brings up Edge and Matt Hardy. Now, that's not Attitude Era, but the Edge Matt Hardy storyline with the actual split of Matt Hardy and Lita with Edge, like that was 2005-ish, and still a time where you could blur that line between,
Because they had fired
reality
Matt
and-
Hardy because of the friction between the two of them,
yeah,
and then hired him back under the like the only way you're coming back is if you have a feud. We bring this into, and he was like, fine.
yeah. Oh, and they did it well.
All the Lita storylines are my favorite.
Sure.
Hell of a Hurricane Rana.
Big fan of Lita.
Yeah, she was rad. All right, you want to do one more before
Yeah, let's
we
do one more.
knock it out here?
Yeah.
This one. This is
Midian.
okay. This comes from
That's good.
JR Kane 88.
Mm.
Best deep dish pizza in Chicago? Flying to Chicago for the first time to watch Wild vs. Hawks. Mario already gave me the hotel recommendations. So far, we've seen Lou Malnati's.
Pequods.
Pequods is the answer.
Pequods.
P-Quads. Yeah, Malnati's is really good, but I'd say,
Got to get the butter crust.
yep, I'd say deep dish though. Go out, make the effort to get to a P-Quads. It's my favorite.
The caramelized crust, man, is
Yeah.
you can't get that anywhere else.
It is that much better than
Except-
everything else where we're all just like, yes, unanimously Pequods.
Bert's place as well out in Morton Grove. I
Morton
believe.
Grove, yep.
Yeah.
And isn't Gulliver's on Ogden, like in the West Burbs, like semi-related to?
I don't know about
I don't
Gulliver.
I think so.
If only we knew somebody that had a food podcast.
To the internet.
Gulliver's Travels. While Jay does that, let's do another one. Let's do this is mainly for Mario, I think. This is from Hangry FC. What's your position in adult hockey, and do you throw elbows?
No, I don't throw elbows because I am
not?
a small person and don't want to get beat up by someone who's just trying to, play hockey and enjoy themselves. I like playing
Soft.
forward because I like to I like to get in. I just like being more offensive, but I have found that you get a little bit more respect on your team when you willingly play defense, especially from goalies. So I have played a lot more defense than I ever have before in my playing time. So yeah, I'm the ultimate team guy. Wherever you need me, coach, put me there, and I will do my best to help the team.
There you go.
I misread that question. I just saw adult in position. I was like, hey, it's too early in the day to answer that question.
Yes, Gulliver's
And
is
elbow.
related according to Reddy Edgemont.
Yeah, Burt Katz, I know he sold off the, I don't think Gulliver's might not be open anymore. I'll find out. But yes, they were all related. Thank you very much. Also, a little second runner-up on the deep dish. Art of Pizza, very good.
Sure.
I like Art of Pizza a lot. You can't go wrong. Even Giordano's is a touristy spot. It's really damn good.
Yeah, still good.
I don't like Giordano's.
It's good. Yes, you do.
I don't.
You just don't because it's not hip.
No, that's not true. I just.
So if there's
it's
Giordano's
not-
here, you wouldn't have any?
It's not some hole in the wall that
No,
only
it's
10
not that at
people
all.
heard of.
I think there's too much crust. I think the crust
It's
is
a
too
deep dish.
All right.
I don't
Next
know.
time Giordano's is here, we'll remember.
Yep.
I don't
None
know.
for Lawrence.
Turn up his
I didn't-
nose.
I didn't say I'm not going to eat it.
At Giordano's. All right, we're going to be back tomorrow at 2:30 with the rest of your mailbag and hopefully some more hockey news to share. We appreciate everybody being with us today. As always, make sure you smash that like button and become a diehard today at allchgo.com. That's Mario Tirabassi. That's Greg Boysen. I'm Jay Zawaski. Thanks to Joe Brand for jumping on the show today. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.